Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. The message reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My name is Chipo, not a real name. I grew up in a village in Honde Valley. To anyone who has been there, they will say it is quite a beautiful place. It is like a little Cape Town that is in Zim, a quiet village nestled amongst the hills where everything is just beautiful and peaceful. But I know the truth. I know the truth about my family. And my family, even though we claim to be Christians, but we are not being truthful with ourselves. And I think that this matter needs to be handled properly. Otherwise, our suffering, it is going to continue. I have my cousin brother who is staying here in South Africa with me here in Cape Town. This cousin brother of mine, you don't even believe it. He is only 19 years. And when he came here to South Africa last year, we thought that maybe he was going to work, raise some money. We told him, you're still very young. You can get a license, return back home, and then you start at least driving even for a very small pay, but at least you'll be able to build your life. But he has since refused. Currently, he is staying with a woman who is older, way older than he is. He claims that he is in love, but I don't think so. So he's staying with this old woman, but I don't blame him because it is a family curse, and the elderly in the family, they do not want to talk about. We go to Pentecostal churches and they say that we are not supposed to go and consult. So what happened was that it was in the year 1993. I was just a child, no more than 10 years. My father was someone who was feared in the village, very harsh, demanding. He had fought in the wars of liberation, and he had a temper that could make even the strongest in the village to tremble. He had 4 wives. Although he was respected, he was really feared. I don't know if any of them truly loved him because he was maybe mentally disturbed as well. Maybe there is something that happened to him in the army, because the way that he used to beat our moms when we were still growing up, it was just painful. It was as if they had a duty roster of getting beaten up by our father. It was quite a sad thing to watch. So I grew up in that environment, watching your mother and her co-sisters also being beaten up. And one day, his 4th wife just disappeared. She was gone just like that, without a word, without a trace. So during those days, that was when it was almost like a trend. So there were people, we used to call them mabinya, the thugs. These were hired to kill someone to harvest body parts. So we would hear stories that the body parts were in demand. There were sangomas from Mozambique as well as South Africa that were in need of those human body parts. That was when there were a lot of taxis that came into our country. Your taxis like your highest, that was the time. So no one even dared to ask where she was gone. But I remember that everyone knew that my father had something to do about it. So one day, when the elderly people in our family were sitting down discussing about the missing person, that was when I heard one saying that he had killed her, my father, and had dragged her out into the pit toilet and thrown her body inside. I did not understand it at first. I was too young to comprehend the horror of what had happened on that night. But as the days passed, the truth began to sink in. We could smell something that was really terrible, like in the pit toilet. And he kept on buying these different chemicals, pouring them into that pit toilet. She was down there. Her body had been left to rot, hidden away in that filthy hole, and no one did anything. No one in the family even dared to say a word. For 3 weeks she lay there, forgotten, like she was nothing. Her life did not matter, and we did nothing. Everyone just kept quiet, as if no one had known that my father was capable of doing this. The whole family came, the extended family came. That was when one night a sangoma came from Mozambique. He was quite an old man. This man came, spoke with my father that was when my father spoke with these other brothers as if they were doing this thing in unison, knowing that this is what they wanted to do. My father then took his brothers to the pit toilet as well as the sangoma. We watched from a distance, hiding in the shadows, afraid of what we were going to see. That was when we saw them with huge ropes, as if they were pulling out the body of that person. We kept on watching, afraid of what we were going to see. They pulled her body out, and I could barely recognize her. She was nothing but bones covered in dirt and decay, a skeleton that had once been living, a breathing woman, but now she was just dead, rotten. They pulled her bones out, and after they had pulled her bones out, she was taken into another mud hut that my father had commanded some of my brothers to remove. So after that, that was when I had my father and his brothers. They were busy in there all night as if they were chopping the bones of that woman. When that was done, that man, he returned back to his country. It then all started with my cousins, my siblings. As they grow older, they began to change. They were fine, healthy, happy, until they reach the age of 18 or 19. All the boys in the family, they have to go through this stage as if they are possessed by a demon. It's like a switch that has been flipped. They can just become distant. Like you can see that this person is no longer okay. So when we have been speaking with the elderly people in the family, they just say that it is drugs, it is drugs, it is guka. They had fallen into the trap of drugs. So guka is sort of like a drug that they call nyaupe in this country where I am in South Africa. So that is what most of the young people are taking in our country as well. So they just say that it is because these young ones, they are taking drugs. But what my cousin brothers were saying was that they were seeing the woman who was murdered by our father. This woman is saying, I want you to go and tell my relatives the truth that you know about my disappearance. I did not disappear. You all saw what happened. You saw them pulling out my dead body from that toilet. Why are you quiet as a family? Why did you lie to the village headman that when he saw that there was something that was taking place, and then you claimed that you had killed a cow and it was the meat of that cow that was smelling? Why did you allow your father to hide the fact that he murdered me? So as a family, we have been cursed. This generation has been cursed, and we can see that indeed we are cursed as a family. This is where we are right now, Brother Nashi. And whenever I speak with the elderly people in the family, all that they say is, you need to pray. You need to pray. When are we going to stop praying and sit down and discuss about this? All the boys in the family, they have seen the spirit of this woman as much as we are Pentecostal Christians. But why do we keep on seeing the spirit of this woman? As for us, the ladies, it's like when you stay with a man, the man can only love you when you will be dating each other. But the moment that you stay with each other for a very long time, you'll start to hate you, to beat you up. And the same thing that has been happening to me, that is the same thing that happens to all of my sisters, my cousin sisters and siblings as well. Our husbands will tell us that, you know what, the only thing that can make me to stop loving you is when you are dead. I want to kill you as if I am killing a chicken, and then I am going to run away. No one will ever catch me. It does not matter if you date a man from your country, a man from Mozambique, South Africa, Malawi. They all end up saying the same thing, that I can kill you as if you are a chicken, and no one will do anything about it, such that you can see that even your partner is acting as if he is possessed by a demon. Dear listeners, right, there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister. That was the translation of the message that she sent to me. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.